Hi, I'm Matt, the Americano, and several weeks ago I had the opportunity to interview Juliana from Expat Group in Bogotá. And I loved talking with her. She was a wealth of information. And it was about visas. And if you haven't seen it, you want to go check that out. But today I'm in Medellin at Expat Group's corporate office, and I'm with Alexa, who is going to tell us about the FBI background checks, and she's going to give us all the dirty, gritty details on it. So I want to introduce you to Alexa.
Hi guys, it's a pleasure to meet you. And yes, here at Expat Group, we're going to be talking about the FBI background check. And Matt, tell me, what do your followers want to know about this?
These are the biggest questions I've had. Is it required? Does everybody have to do it? Do you have to do it on renewals? And the other one is the apostille. Can a state apostille a federal document? We both know the answer to that.
That's true.
But it's in my questions.
No problem. We're into all the questions. So let's start with the basics. The FBI background check is required, but it depends on the type of visa. The resolution itself does not state the requirement, except, for example, we have retirement visa. That will state the requirement of the FBI background check. But when you look into our experience, because that's what counts in this case, the government tends to require it more times than not. So we always recommend our clients to get it once, like before everything starts and it's already too late. Because of course, we want an approved visa. So when it counts, we're going to try and do the best recommendations, and the FBI background check is one of them.
When you say it depends on the type of visa, which visas do not require that?
For example, a student visa. Most cases, nothing will be mentioned about an FBI background check.
What about a digital nomad visa?
It will be required.
It will be required. Okay, that's interesting. That's nice to know, because I think that's one of the most common visas that people are getting right now, isn't it?
Yes. So digital nomad visa is one of those in which the resolution itself does not state the requirement, but when we look at our experience, practically 100% of the occasions and all these times, it has required an FBI background check.
Okay. Another one that I've noticed people saying is a lot of people want to go it on their own because the FBI background check isn't that expensive, and then but there's time frames, and so basically you've got to get that background check, and then you've got to get it to the State Department for apostille, because a state cannot do that, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so what is the time frame from start to finish typically on this?
So our internal process normally takes about 2 to 3 weeks. It all depends on our internal mechanisms and how everything is processing. Taking your digital fingerprints takes a bit of time. You need to find a good place where you can get them precise, because that's one of the main issues when it comes to the FBI background check, is that sometimes people do with ink. That's the thing of the past. Here we use our digital mechanisms that basically always guarantee precise fingerprinting. And then you have to go to, for example, if you do it in the US, your post office, get it sent to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and then wait for the response. And then comes the other tedious things, which is the translation and the apostille. Something many people don't know is that the translator, the official translator who does this process, needs to be certified in Colombia. It cannot be any translator who is like a Spanish-English translator.
Okay, that's actually interesting to know as well. I didn't know that.
So it has to be a certified translator here in Colombia.
Okay.
And then the apostille.
Okay.
So apostille has to be a Washington, D.C. apostille, because it needs to be the Department of State who issues this apostille. Because even if you wish to do it with your local state, Florida, South Carolina, California, you can issue an apostille, but the government here in Colombia will not validate it.
So the FBI background check, what do you guys charge for that?
Okay, so our standard fee for the whole package would be $400 USD.
Okay.
Well, that's our current price, because you never know next year with price changes how it might be. But there are some things that change. For example, if you have a lengthy background check with more than 3 pages, we will charge you $15 for the translation of all these additional pages.
Okay, so it's $15 per page after that? Okay, and and I'm assuming that if there's more than 3 pages, that's a problematic FBI background check. I'm assuming a half page is a perfect one.
Yes, the standard FBI will be 2 pages. Sometimes they like to add another one, but normally it'll be 2 pages that states that there's no priors within their system. But when there are more than 2 or 3, you start to see a few things within the history of these people. But sometimes there are things 20 years ago.
Yeah. So those cars that you all stole when you're 18 years old, that's a no-no. But if you're 40 years old, maybe they'll forget that.
It's true.
So as far as that background check, what's the longest one that you've seen?
Ooh.
Was it like a novel?
I don't know how many details I can reveal regarding this, but it was more than 10 pages long. It was a lengthy record that had some things in a span of different years. But yeah, that was the longest one.
Was that one approved or denied? Or
I
do you
think
remember?
It's still in process.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
So basically, as far as when somebody does have a problem with, they have more than 3 pages, do you find that if the things are more current, they're more likely to get denied?
Yes.
Okay.
So currently, the government has a few different answers to all these visa applications. So you have the obvious approved visa, you have an inadmitted visa, and a denied visa, for example. Inadmitted is a visa denial per se, but allows you to try and apply once more immediately after you receive that answer. So sometimes with these lengthy background checks, you will not receive an inadmitted because it's the person itself, and these type of things within your record can't change.
Okay.
But for example, if you applied to the visa and didn't have the background check, and because of that it was inadmitted, you can acquire your FBI background check and reapply to the visa.
Okay. So if that were to happen, does someone have to pay the fee again?
Yes.
So it's as if it's just a fresh start again. So
exactly.
So it's really better to just
be prepared from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and back to the inadmitted versus denied and all of that. I'm assuming that most of the time when they're and which one is it that you can apply again? Is that the inadmitted? Or,
yes, sir.
So when you get an inadmitted, it's usually just a document or something that they want that's missing.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Because we have a very beautiful thing here, which is discretionary power.
Okay.
And it's that answer that really doesn't give us context clues about what is wrong. When that happens, our team will normally check everything. Every single minuscule detail. We will basically audit the application, the profile, and change things to maybe make it more appealing.
Okay. And so if something like that happens, are they back to also having to pay the fee again?
Yes.
Okay. So if you all resubmit it, do you find that they tend to get approved at that moment, or is there something behind the scenes that you all don't know what's going on, and they're denying it again? We've
seen both things happen. I wouldn't be able to give you like a specific number in terms of statistics, but sometimes, and we've had these very beautiful miracles when it comes to these applications, that by changing a few things, sweetening some words, we do get the approved visa at the end.
Okay. The FBI background check, if someone has already done it once and now they're getting the renewal, do they need to do it again?
Yes.
Okay.
Because this is something a lot of people don't know, but when you renew a visa, you're not actually renewing it.
It's actually a new visa.
It's a new visa.
Yeah.
You're issuing a new visa. So once more, you will have to present all the requirements for said visa. So that includes the FBI background check.
Okay.
Before we jump in, I've got something brand new that's going to make your life a lot easier if you're thinking about moving to Colombia. I'm releasing a new series of 2026 Colombia regional guides, 7 in total, covering every major region of the country. Each guide includes up-to-date cost of living for the most popular cities in the region, safety indexes, healthcare information, a directory of trusted doctors, attorneys, tax specialists, visa services, and relocation specialists, plus the visa requirements and options, everything you need to plan your move. They're normally going to be $29 each, but for our Black Friday launch through December 15th, they're only $19, and you can add any extra region for just $10 more. They'll start rolling out between December 15th and the 23rd, and every one of them gets quarterly updates through 2026. And if you want all 7 and access to the new passport community launching January 1st, you can pre-order that now too. Members get all 7 guides Nomads included, plus access to our private forums, cost of living data tables, and visa resources for every region. The community will be $29 a month or $299 a year, and there's also a pro plan with a monthly live Q&A session for $49 a month or $499 a year. But right now, during pre-launch, you can lock in the 2026 year for half price, $149 or $249 for the year. And remember, that $249 option gets you live Q&A sessions every month with me on a Zoom call, and you can ask whatever you want. Everything's linked below. Grab your regional guide, pre-order your community membership, and join us as we make living abroad easier than ever.
And so, like earlier we mentioned about the digital nomad visa, which is really a V visa.
Yes.
So you earn no time towards residency with that. You need an M visa for that, correct? Do you find that they require it for somebody that's been here for 5 or more years and now is wanting to get permanent residency? Do they require it for that as well?
They tend to,
Okay.
yes. I mean, this is a secret, but at the same time, it's not a secret. The government tends to be really picky. And they will be picky sometimes with specific visa types or in general with nationalities. So sometimes they're like really picky, for example, with Americans. They'll say like, oh no, you have to have this, this, and this. You need an FBI background check for every type of visa. You need all these different requirements that might not be very explicit. But then you have times where they're really nice and they like to approve visas and they like people coming into our country. So you do have these occurrences, but yes, you do need to reissue all these documents to be able to apply for a new visa. Even when this, for example, is going to be your last visa before applying for your resident.
And we've talked about the FBI background check, which is for Americans. But do you all do any of the behind the scenes work for, like, say, somebody from Canada or Europe? Or is the FBI the only thing you guys do on that?
So we can offer the digital fingerprinting process.
Okay.
But we do not do background checks for other countries besides the US.
Okay. And I'm assuming that probably most of the people that come through here are probably American anyway.
Yes.
Okay. And that being said, I got my visa with you guys back almost 5 years ago now. You guys have always done the behind the scenes work. I referred to it as the Wizard of Oz. You guys are behind the curtain doing things, and I don't know what you're doing, but I just know that it gets done. And I get that your visa was approved about 3 weeks after I start the process. So I know you all do the FBI background check now as well, but y'all offer other services besides visas.
Of course.
What are the other services that you guys offer?
So we have real estate services, tax services, business creation. We also have different things, for example, a tourism extension. If you're running out of your tourist days, you can manage an extension with us. We also have something called a salvoconducto, which is a way to pay a fine once you've been illegally within the country. So we do have a lot of different services, all related to this, being in Colombia.
Okay. And I actually had a viewer that had messaged me, and because he had saw the video that we did with Juliana, that said that he realized he was over his days for his tourist visa. And so he went back to the US, and he told me that, I don't know if it was American Airlines or United, but they charged him a $30 fee, and then they sent him back to immigration, and he didn't know Spanish. And so I think they were going to charge him, but they actually let him slide without
Really?
any fee. And so I'm guessing maybe they have discretionary powers on that fee as well, because I've heard the fee can be I've heard it as much as maybe 6 million pesos. Is that correct?
Depending on how many days illegally you've been within Colombia.
Okay.
But the story you're telling me, I really don't have any clue. I think that institution itself is another current with another Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
But I guess every...
Two Wizards of Oz.
But I do guess every institution does have its discretionary power to some level. But I just say your viewer or your friend was very lucky.
Yeah. So, because I know that when at the first year I had my visa, I remember sitting on a plane with someone who told me that they had to pay a fee. And this was like around, COVID time. So, they I guess kind of got stuck in the country. And I don't remember it being very much, but it was still, I want to say it was, I don't know, 200,000 or 300,000 pesos, but didn't seem that that bad to me, but I've heard stories all over the place, and so yeah, I think they do have their own Wizard of Oz. So if somebody needs to get their finger printed with you guys, or fingers printed, how do they go about doing that? Do they just show up at your office? Do they need an appointment?
So here at Expat Group, we have 2 offices, one in Bogotá and one in Medellin. For our Bogotá office, we have appointments on Wednesdays, and for our Medellin office, you have appointments Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Okay.
But for this, you would either contact us through our WhatsApp or look through our page and choose the service that you require. And then you would pay it, and you will receive through your email a link to book the appointment. Okay, so that's cool. So, and of course, we've covered that it's basically about a 3-week process, start to finish, for the FBI background check. And then I'm assuming typically 2 to 4 weeks for the visa after that, on top of that? Yeah, it depends. Sometimes specific types of visas do require a bit more preparation, but normally it will be shortly after we receive the FBI background check that we do submit the visa. Okay.
For all of the visas that, getting the first one and then all the renewals, for the most part, I would say that I think pretty much every one I've done with you guys has been about 3 weeks, and I've had no interaction after I did it until I got it approved. So, like I said, I know someone's behind a curtain over there making all that happen. So, what are have you ran into people who have done the FBI background check on their own, and then you guys have had to fix it, or the visa maybe from this?
Yes.
How is that? I bet that happens a lot.
We have had some clients who wish to be a bit more independent with their procedures. Sometimes because they want to save on cost, or because they were in the US and they had to do it prior to coming to Colombia. But most of the time, we do have to redo the fingerprinting and the FBI background check process, because sometimes things are missing, and sometimes our views and our ways are the professional ones, and we already know what Migración likes. So we will always say that the best option is to do it directly with us, because you're guaranteed a good product and something that will be necessary for your visa application.
Well, and you only have, if correct me if I'm wrong, but you only have 90 days the moment you apply. So all those documents have to be in a 90-day window. Is that correct?
Yes.
So 3 weeks. If it takes you guys 3 weeks, and you guys do this all the time, then I'm assuming that those 3 weeks are 3 efficient weeks. Somebody doing it on their own could take longer.
Of course.
And now your window is getting shorter along that process.
Yes.
Have you ran into things like that where people have done it on their own, and then you have to redo it because it's out of time?
Yes. Sometimes with these type of situations, we try to talk with the client, see what their needs are, and try to explain to the best of our abilities what it is that the government requires. And we always try to come up with a peaceful solution based on what they desire and what we know the government requires. Okay.
So the fact that this is really your prime business, this is, for me, I'm analytical, statistical, and I know what I do best, and I know what I don't do best. I feel like this is why I always tell people, just use a visa service. Your life will be a lot easier. So one of the other questions I get regularly on my channel is about EPS with the private healthcare. A lot of people think that they can't get EPS, that they have to only be able to get the private insurance, essentially. What's the sticky on that?
All right, so the details are kind of simple. Each visa will have its different requirements, right? So some visas will explicitly say, you cannot have an EPS while you're doing the application. And some other ones will say, you need private insurance, because they will have a set of requirements that are within the visa. For example, repatriation. And then when you get your visa approved, they will all come with some little fine print. Here, they might say, you cannot acquire an EPS while living in Colombia, while others do not include the text. So you're free to do so. Okay, and so somebody applying for a visa where they're getting the private health insurance, what
like if they're getting a, say a digital nomad, or whether it's maybe one of the M visas, how long do you recommend them having the private insurance paid for in advance?
So this is a little secret that we have here at Expat Group, and it's that a lot of times, depending on the amount of time for which you have acquired your insurance, is the time that you will be granted. So for example, retirement visa. A lot of people, we suggest that they acquire, for example, 2 years of insurance. That way they can guarantee a much longer stay in Colombia without having to renew their visa earlier than expected.
Okay. And so, and basically the EPS just gives them extra options if they can get that also. Is that correct?
Yes. On the long run, depending on the type of visa, if you do wish to acquire an EPS, it will allow you to have different options when it comes to health insurance. And
do you all help with private insurance or EPS or anything like that?
We do have an ally when it comes to private insurance, and we do have some very good news coming soon regarding this. But yeah, we can help you regarding your private insurance, but EPS sadly is not something that we manage.
Okay, sounds good. And so before I let you go, you basically have this Black Friday special going on until December 6th.
Yes, sir.
What's the special?
So we have discounts on our visa packages, our full FBI package, and on real estate. So look up Expat Group and look up all these promotions we have during our Black Week.
So it was a pleasure sitting here with you. It's awesome to come to your office, and I've been to both of your offices. Got to meet the staff in both locations, and the staff are all really cool. And in fact, everybody that I've ever dealt with through emails or through WhatsApp or whatever has always been helpful. You know, it's like, I always like how it gets. I start the process with one person, they do their part, and then they pass me to the next person who's the specialist in that area, and so that's always great. So
a lot of teamwork here.
Yeah, you guys can't see it because it's on the other side of the camera. There's a bunch of people here. So again, thank you, Alexa. I really appreciate it, and I hope that we can do some more of these in the future. So
hopefully.
So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Take care.
Thank you for coming.
So I hope you liked this video. Expat Group has just always done me a good solid on getting my visas. And if you want to know more, there's a link in the description below where you can check out their website, make a contact to them, and find out more about them. We also have the link to our newsletter, The Passport, which covers things about expat life, travel abroad, just being a nomad in another country. So you can subscribe to that. It is free, and there's also a digital magazine that's free as well. So I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.